The November Criterion sale is finally upon us, and I went out to my local Barnes & Noble to pick up what I wanted, and oh boy. This was a really, really good sale. How's it going, fellas and files? This is Dominic from Film Overload, the channel where we talk about movies, pop culture, and everything in between. And yes, as you just heard, I went out to my local Barnes & Noble to do my annual Criterion shopping. And for those of you who don't know what the Criterion Collection is, it is a company who are dedicated to preserving some of the world's most cherished films and just preserving them and keeping them alive so that new generations can watch them. And I really appreciate a company like this for really going out of their way to preserve some of these really old and really fantastic films. And as you can probably see in a couple of these clips, I just had a lot of fun going to Barnes & Noble. It's always very fun going there and just seeing all the different films that they have on the shelf, and seeing that big 50% off sign is a real game changer, obviously. I just love how many films that they have added to this collection, and just so many great titles from across the world that really, I think people just... well, the average moviegoer just tends to overlook, but I really do appreciate this company for really taking the time and preserving some of these films that a lot of people might have not seen before. So here is the stack of Criterions that I picked up, and I'm just super excited to show you guys what I got in this collection. I cannot wait to unpack these finally and add them to my wall of Blu-rays and Criterions right behind me. But without further ado, let's get into this fantastic collection. And just one quick note, I'm actually going to show you guys the order that I got by the spine number. Every Criterion has a spine number on the very side of the packaging, and it shows you the exact number that the Criterion restored this particular film. For example, their very first film, Grand Illusion, will have a number 1 on the side of their box, and the newest one will have like 11, I think it's like 1190 something, I think now. But that's just the order in which the company restored these films. So kicking off this video, we have spine number 107, and I had just recently saw this film roughly about 2 months ago, and I was just absolutely taken back by this film. But this is a film by Neil Jordan, and it is spine number 107, and that is Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa is just one of those films that really just kind of make you just kind of deep dive into the underworld, so to speak. It's a really good take on like the London underworld, just a really grounded story, a really good story as well. Bob Haskins and Kathy Tyson just put on a clinic as these two main leads. This film is very dark, very gritty. There's a lot of really good stuff in this film, and I just had to get it into my collection. So that is Mona Lisa. The next film in this collection that I got is quite the interesting comedy. This movie caught me completely off guard when I first watched this, and I was really charmed by this film, and that is spine number 163, and that is the film Hopscotch, starring Walter Matthau. This film is absolutely hilarious. I loved almost every single moment of this film. It's just a really funny comedy, something you can just throw on and you can just laugh. It is really funny. He plays this goofy character really well, and that just makes the movie for me, and I just had to have this film in my collection. The next film in my list was a horror film, and I actually started the month of October watching this film. I had watched all horror movies all throughout the month of October, and this was the very first film I watched on October 1st, and that is spine number 226, and that is the film Ani Baba. I really wanted to watch this film for a long time, but I just kept putting it off, and I'm really disappointed that I did, because this film is wonderful. A really creepy, very eerie, very haunting, so to speak, film. And I won't go into spoilers, but this film, I mean, there is a lot of really good stuff about Alibaba. And I just love this cover. This cover represents exactly what this movie is all about, and it's just eerie and ominous, and I just absolutely loved the vibe that I got from this film. So Alibaba is also added finally to my collection. Richard Linklater has made some fantastic films, Slacker and the unforgettable Before trilogy, but there's one film that I have not added yet to my Criterion collection, and I finally did today, and that is Spine number 336, and that is his film Dazed and Confused. This movie is just off the wall, just offbeat, just chaos. This film is just chaos, and it's wonderful. It's really fun. It's just chaotic. You just follow a bunch of random teenage characters, and they just do whatever they want. Now, the last day of school, and it's just wonderful. I found this film to be really, really hilarious. I loved a lot about this film, and I just love the cover. The cover is just wonderful. I absolutely love and I dig this cover a lot. It's fantastic, and so I wanted to add this film to my collection, and I'm so glad that I finally did. This next film is a French film, and when I first watched this film, this was a very, very interesting watch for a lot of different reasons. Some really great storytelling, some really interesting character build-up, a really solid screenplay, and a really interesting ending also, by the way. And this is a film by Max Ophuls, I think Ophuls, and it is Spine 445, but that is The Earrings of Madame D. I love this cover, just a really eye-catching cover. I really dig it. And this film is just really, really interesting. A really solid take on a romantic thriller. I really did enjoy this film. Just great performances all throughout the entirety of this film. I absolutely loved it. Just wonderful performances, wonderful writing, wonderful story. I know it's a foreign language film, and a lot of people don't really tend to like foreign language films because of the subtitles, but guys, please give foreign language films a chance. It's a whole other world out there of cinema and it's just wonderful. This next film is easily the second best courtroom drama I have ever seen, behind 12 Angry Men, and I just watched this film again about a month and a half ago, and I was just taken back by just how masterful this film was. And that is Spine number 600, and that is Otto Preminger's Anatomy of a Murder. Check out this cover. I love this cover. I love this cover. It's so simple, but so effective. I love it. And I've seen a lot of James Stewart films. This is easily his best performance, in my opinion. I think Rope is his second best performance, but this is number one. This is a fantastic courtroom drama. It's not as good as 12 Angry Men, in my opinion, but this is a fantastic courtroom drama. I was gripped from the very beginning all the way to the very end. I was on the edge of my seat, wanting to know what was going to happen to all of these characters and all the various different storylines, and James Stewart just delivers a masterful performance and a masterclass of acting in this film. Unfortunately, this film had to go up against the likings of Ben-Hur, which is the reason why it probably didn't win the Oscars that it should have, but this film is just amazing. I absolutely loved this film from start to finish, and I'm so glad that the Criterion Collection remastered this wonderful, wonderful film. Next, we have a film from Terrence Malick, and it is Spine number 651, and that is the film Badland. A very, very young Martin Sheen and a very, very young Sissy Spacek. A really interesting movie. Again, it's Terrence Malick, so the cinematography, brilliant. The editing, brilliant. Sheen is great. Sissy is just really, really, really good as well. a fantastic, fantastic drama that only lasts about an hour and a half, so it's a really quick watch also. And again, it's just a really solid film. Again, another fantastic cover for this film, in my opinion, and I'm so glad to add this one as well to my collection. This next film is a silent era film that had me laughing from start to finish the entire time, and that is Spine 703, and that is Harold Lloyd's The Freshman. This film is hilarious. I was laughing the entire time. A really quick, sweet, charming little film here, and I just dug the entire film. This is so funny and so charming, and Harold Lloyd is just fantastic in this film as well. The entire cast is just great in this film. The laughs are all over the place. I absolutely loved this film from start to finish, and I just had to have it. I just had to have it in my collection because it's just such a good film. It's a very comforting movie as well because it's just so naturally funny. So The Freshman, I'm going to add as well to my Criterion collection. When you think of director Martin Scorsese, you think of The Wolf of Wall Street, Mean Streets, Gangs of New York, Goodfellas, Taxi Driver, the list goes on and on and on. But there's a film that really caught me off guard that he directed that I could not believe he directed at all. And when I saw this film just literally last week, I was like, wow. So he can do more than just crime. And that is Spine number 913, and that is The Age of Innocence. This film is, again, this is a very different film from Martin Scorsese. Just a very deep and a very solid romance led by killer performances from Daniel Day-Lewis, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Winona Ryder. Just fantastic movie. Again, a very rich romance, something that Scorsese is not known for at all, but honestly, he knocked this film completely out of the park, and I just absolutely loved this film. And again, I just had to have this in my collection because it is just really, really good. All right, I have two more films to show you, and this next film here, again, I just watched this last week and absolutely loved it. So when I saw it was on the collection, I just had to have it again, and that is Frank Capra's Arsenic and Old Lace, starring Cary Grant. This is Spine number 1153, and again, I love the case. The cover is so good because it perfectly represents the entirety of this film. This film is ridiculous. This film is utterly ridiculous, but that's the reason why it's so brilliant. I mean, it's literally the reason why it is so good. Just a fantastic screwball comedy. Cary Grant, I think, is the king of screwball comedies. He just knocked it out of the park once again. Peter Lorre and Boris Karloff, also great additions to this cast, and just the overall goofiness of this film. This is a really, really solid screwball comedy, and if you have not seen it, please do, because this is just hilarious. And last but certainly not least, we have a very underappreciated and very underrated biopic that I think people should watch more of, and this is Spine number 1193, and this is the film Labomba. This is one of their newer additions to the collection, and just look at that cover. That cover is, oh yeah, this is it. This cover is fantastic. Again, a very underappreciated biopic in my opinion. Lou Diamond Phillips, again, just knocks it out of the park entirely. Great performance, a really solid cast around him, and just a really good story about a really solid musician who just had dreams and aspirations that was just tragically taken away from him way too soon. So I just had to add this to the collection because this is a really solid biopic. And Barnes & Noble had some really good Blu-ray deals as well that I just had to pick up because there was just some really good stuff that was on sale, like really good stuff. I got Cool Hand Luke, which is a great film. If you have not seen Cool Hand Luke, great film. We got Chinatown, Nicholson and Faye Dunaway, great film as well. We got We got Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in the West. Fantastic Western if you've not seen it. We got Mel Gibson's The Patriot. A really graphic but very interesting look at a very, very fascinating war. We got David Fincher's Seven. What's in the box? What's in the box? Sorry, I just had to do that. Had to. This film is fantastic, and David Fincher just can't do anything wrong. And then John Carpenter's The Thing rounds out the Blu-ray collection that I got as well. And this film, again, just, it's The Thing. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Now, there were 2 Criterion bundles that I did not get, unfortunately, that I have to order online. That being the John Cassavetes 5-film set and the Samurai Trilogy. I had to order those online, and they should be here relatively soon. But those are the only 2 collections that I did not get today because they just simply didn't have it at my local Barnes & Noble. But when they do arrive, hopefully I might make a video about those 2. But those are also a part of my collection as well. The November 2023 Criterion sale was a really, really fun time. Again, a lot of fantastic titles and some steals for Blu-rays as well. I absolutely loved all of this. It's just a fun time to go out to Barnes & Noble and just buy some really, really solid cinema that you can just keep on your shelf forever and just watch on repeat. I cannot wait to unpack all these and just put them on my wall of Criterions and my Blu-rays and just add them to my overall Blu-ray and Criterion collection. And guys, if you went out to your local Barnes & Nobles, what did you guys pick up? Comment down below what you picked up in this Criterion sale. I would love to hear what you guys picked up, and just overall just talking about films and why we love them. And if you like this form of content, hit that like button. Also hit subscribe while you're at it, and turn on the post notifications so that you guys can get notified every single time that I post a video. You can follow me on Letterboxd, which is right here. I post all of my movie reviews on Letterboxd, as it helps me keep track of movies that I have watched, movies that I haven't watched, and movies that I will watch. And I think you guys would benefit greatly from this app and this website if you are indeed lovers of cinema like myself. As always, guys, happy movie watching. Take care.